Hey kids, are you sick of innovation in your video games? Are you tired of exciting new updates to stuff you already love? Are you bored of successful modernizations of older games? And while we're here, are you kind of over the whole Nintendo making good content thing? No need to worry, Nintendo's here to remind you that nobody bats 1,000, and that some games should stay buried with your 3DS.
Hello?
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Travel back in time to the golden age of 2013, when we were all definitely still children and not fully grown adults yet. Right, guys?
Howdy do, fellow kids.
What?
With Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a remake that's pretty much just a polished up Switch sport. But even though you already beat this thing over a decade ago, and the only new content is that they added one entire pun, Mr. Nintendo's still gonna make you pay 50 smackaroonies for it all the same. It feels worse in HD, because I can see the money leaving my bank account way more clearly now. Revisit the terrifying world of Luigi and his mansions in an adventure that's not nearly as fun as the most recent of these games, and also isn't as fun as the first one either. Basically, it's like the Mansion middle child, with weird pacing, boring puzzles, and combat so tedious it'll make vacuuming your actual floors look fun in comparison. But how could anyone expect it to compete with Luigi? Now that's what I call a green Mario. Team up with Professor Egad and take on any ghost that gets in your way, collecting pieces of the Dark Moon or what other pointless errand that Professor sends you on, as he constantly interrupts your flow to nag you about your flashlight.
Hello?
And rambles endlessly about a plot that Luigi clearly couldn't care less about. I mean, look man, I get it. Clean the house so you can get your doohickeys. Yada yada yada. It's just kind of hard to get to all these chores on the to-do list when you won't stop talking. And hey, why not do them yourself? Not like Luigi is such a hero that he has to be ghostbusting solo. With those new alarms to work, nerd. We've got cobwebs to dust. Cower and wind your way through the halls of Luigi's titular Spook Palace, which is equally full of ghosts and cobwebs, all of which are luckily 100% susceptible to Luigi's grade A suck jobs. Hey, you know what to say? When your only tool is a vacuum, all your problems start to look like stuff that can be vacuumed. Fend off the undead, as they mostly just defend their home from a violent intruder, and try to ignore the fact that these all used to be thinking, feeling people. Luigi's are gonna bury this trauma deeper down. Then breeze your way through the game's super easy combat system for baby people, as Luigi whirls clumsily through ghost-infested kitchens, graveyards, and rampant OSHA violations, somehow managing to defeat every terrifying creature he encounters, despite the fact that he's way more challenging to maneuver with 2 control sticks instead of 1. Okay, why is it that I feel like I'm playing Octodad anytime I want to explode a spider with my flashlight? But I'm still sleepwalking through every boss fight? This wailing Italian cuck should have beat it 5 times by now. This is like an opposite Elden Ring. It's like an Elden Wrong. So pull up your overalls, lower your expectations, and get ready to do a whole bunch of chores in a game that's less about ghosts and more about teaching a generation of kids how to f mom's curtains, and of course tidying up the filthiest mansion since Resident Evil. Man, what I wouldn't give to see Luigi suck on a crimson head. Sure, it might not look like a vacuum would be super effective against these things, but after listening to Luigi's wailing for the last dozen hours, it's a chance I'm willing to take. Starring the Mushroom Kingdom's #1 blowjob queen, a psychonaut after visiting that beach that makes you old. Totally useless, Pompa Trottergeist. You know, in a lot of ways, the mansion is the main character. Much ado about nothing, the grim specter of your long-dead youth, and so much sucking. Luigi's Mansion 2, Ghosts of Good Games Past. You know, this game makes supernatural horrors seem completely ineffectual. I'd like to see him take on the house from Paranormal Activity. Wow! Hey nerds, you like game stuff? Yeah, I bet you do. Well, click the box on the right to check out this week's episode of Star Players, featuring Rahul Kohli. Turns out, a lot of celebs are nerds too. The force is strong with this one. I plugged my iPhone in McDonald's Sprite, and that thing started charging. Curse you, Baal. Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death. in the embrace of Mesmer's flame.
Bail the tread! You shall haunt me no longer!